The United States has some of the most beautiful scenic drives in the world, but it also has a few stretches of highway that are more likely to leave you clutching the wheel, white-knuckled, wondering why you didn't just take that flight after all. Here's a countdown of the top 10 worst roads in the USA, each known for its own blend of challenging conditions, aggressive drivers, and hair-raising features. Buckle up, this road trip's about to get bumpy. 10. US Route 17, South Carolina. If you're driving on Route 17 in South Carolina, you really don't want to do this at night. You will be squinting into the darkness, muttering, "Shouldn't there be more lights?" Often called the highway to hell, this road makes it onto the list because it lacks basic essentials like lighting and shoulders. Add in some free-roaming wildlife and limited visibility, and Route 17 gives a whole new meaning to cautious driving. During the day, it's still a nail-biter simply for visibility, but it's especially dangerous at night, so if you find yourself on this road in the dark, just remember to be very alert. 9. I-285, Atlanta, Georgia. Ever wanted to drive in a real-life Mario Kart track, complete with lane-switching madness, fast merges, and high speeds? Just head to I-285 in Atlanta. Known for heavy traffic and confusing interchanges, this beltway is like a mini dystopian version of a racetrack, with a mix of fast locals, tourists who have no clue what's happening, and truckers all sharing one congested loop. Frequent crashes are par for the course, so drive defensively, keep your GPS handy, and hope you don't get blue-shelled by a merging vehicle. 8. State Route 138, California. Welcome to California's Death Trap Highway, a place where sharp turns, narrow lanes, and steep elevation changes make every turn an adventure. If adventure is code for imminent danger, State Route 138 has seen countless head-on collisions due to its blind spots and winding curves. Though it sounds scenic, the real sights here are the ones in your rearview mirror as you hope to make it out alive. Just watch those blind curves, or better yet, stick to the main highways if you can. 7. Dalton Highway, Alaska. Imagine driving for hours on end with nothing but snow, gravel, and the occasional bear for company. That's the Dalton Highway, an almost 500-mile stretch of road in Alaska, originally built to serve the state's oil pipeline. With potholes the size of small lakes and weather conditions that could rival the Arctic, this is one road where, "Are we there yet?" might actually be a good question, because cell service, gas stations, and rest stops are rare. It's not for the faint of heart, so pack extra everything and pray you don't have to dig yourself out of a snowdrift. 6. I-95 from Connecticut to Florida. The interstate that seems to be everyone's least favorite road trip companion, I-95. Stretching down the East Coast, I-95 can be a nightmare of merging lanes, aggressive drivers, and endless construction zones. It's like a game of how long can you keep your cool, while cars weave in and out of lanes at breakneck speeds. Some sections of I-95 are so congested, you'll have plenty of time to stare out the window and question your life choices. With bumper-to-bumper traffic and short on-ramps, this road is more of a marathon than a sprint. 5. US Route 1, Florida Keys. US Route 1 might sound like a dream, cruising along turquoise waters through the sunny Florida Keys. But don't let the scenery fool you. This is one dangerous drive. With narrow, overwater lanes, no shoulders, and hordes of tourists who probably haven't driven a car in months, this road becomes a congested nightmare. And if hurricane season hits, buckle up for high winds and waves lapping at the road. Sure, it's beautiful, but this drive is like a don't-look-down tightrope walk for your car. 4. Highway 550, also known as the Million-Dollar Highway, has million-dollar views, sure, but it also has hairpin turns, sheer drop-offs, and a total lack of guardrails. Take your eyes off the road for 1 second, and you might be taking the fast way down the mountain. Winter makes things even scarier, adding snow, ice, and an occasional avalanche into the mix. The stunning scenery may be tempting, but we recommend saving the sightseeing for when you're parked safely somewhere far from these cliffside edges. 3. Interstate 4 is practically the grand slam of bad highway features: tourist traffic, constant accidents, and frequent foggy mornings that limit visibility. This road from Orlando to Tampa has a high fatality rate, likely due to its mix of impatient locals and out-of-town visitors who suddenly realize they're about to miss their exit. Throw in a sudden downpour or some early morning fog, and I-4 becomes a high-stakes obstacle course where every lane change feels like a gamble. 2. Imagine driving for hours on end with no gas stations, minimal cell service, and vast stretches of nothing but you, your car, and the distant mountains. That's Highway 2 in Montana, a 660-mile road where even a minor mishap could mean a long wait for help. Snow and ice cover the road for much of the year, and wildlife crossings are as common as tumbleweeds. If you're brave enough to tackle this isolated stretch, bring extra supplies and maybe a good audiobook. You'll need something to keep you company out there. 1. And here it is, the road that wins the title of most dangerous in America. Interstate 45, particularly through Houston, Texas, is a mix of high speeds, frequent accidents, and congestion that can turn any commute into a battle for survival. Known for its high fatality rate, I-45 combines speeding, lane changes, and Houston's unpredictable weather into a perfect storm of danger. It's not a stretch of road for the faint-hearted, and even the locals will tell you it's best avoided if possible. If you do brave I-45, consider it your daily dose of adrenaline. These roads may be some of the worst, but they don't have to be death sentences. Avoid distractions, watch your speed, and if a road sounds particularly treacherous, make sure to check local conditions before hitting the gas. And remember, sometimes the scenic route or even the long way around is well worth the extra time. Safe travels!